Let's see. No, I don't need that. No, ooh, that was kind of squishy. No, definitely don't need that one. The fuck is this? What the fuck is GamePro? Fucking gaming magazine? Oh, Heavenly Sword, look at that. God, 2007? Oh, I gotta look at this. Look at this. Oh, nice tits. 14 Myths of Gaming from 2007. This ought to be good. Hey, how's it going, folks? Welcome back to The Red Guy Show, and I'm, of course, your host, the one, the only, Maxim Davis. And we got a good one for you today. So while digging around the trash, I found this great magazine called GamePro. Real old edition. I'm not even sure why it was there in the trash can, but it's from 2007. Had this great section called Gaming 14 Dangerous Gaming Myths. You just listen. I'm an opinionated son of a bitch, and I had to tackle this. So this is back in 2007. So keep this in mind. This is going to be more of a satirical than anything. Then the big thing is, I hate game journalists. I hate how we seem to take all of our opinions on video games around these people. I personally call them bloggers because they can get fucked. I mean, I just don't understand why they're taken so seriously. I think all of them should be taken off the internet. I think they should lose all their funding, all their advertisement, although back in the day they did. I don't like them. I have no respect for any of them. There are a few, obviously, that aren't like the rest of the fucking game bloggers out there, so it's a little silly to lump all of them in. But when we hear the word game journalist, we all know who we're talking about. Fucking Kotaku, IGN, Polygon. They are disgusting, awful human beings that they need, the term learn to code. Yeah, it's you. That's you. You know who you are. You know who you fucking are. Even GamePro, little secret. I used to be subscribed to them. They're not exactly the fucking pillar of the community themselves. So let's get right into this, and we'll have a bit of fun. So myth 1: third-party controllers are just as good. According to them, wrong. Now this is sort of a hot take, so to speak. They are right. Some, especially if it's like Mad Catz, they can be pretty bad. I mean, they'll last you maybe a couple months. But there are other reputable brands out there that they do hold up, and they are fairly solid third-party controllers. I still have a third-party controller that lasts to this day. Don't know what the hell the brand is. It might be a Mad Catz. Mad Catz is very much a hit and miss for a company that is really about advancements. I say this very loosely. Advancements in controller technology. Some of the controllers are absolute dog shit. Some of them are really great. The great ones usually aren't the ones with fucking turbo buttons. When it comes to third-party controllers, it really is a hit and miss. So some of them really held up pretty well. Some are absolute garbage, and it's not hard to tell the difference. To say that they're all bad is like saying every PS2 game is bad, or that every Nintendo 64 game is bad. Of course, if you're fucking Kotaku, unless it's an Apple brand watch, everything is terrible. Myth number 2: the more memory, the better the gaming system. Their take, not exactly. So, shockingly, they are correct on that. It depends on the RAM sticks themselves. Now, if you don't know how RAM works, it's basically how fast your computer is able to work. How fast it launches a program, how fast it renders that, or if it's a visual program, how fast it renders it, things like that. Technically speaking, it is what is called random access memory. It holds on to this for as long as the computer's on. When the computer's off, it trashes it and it doesn't need it anymore. To say that more is better is technically correct, and it really depends on the timing of the memory. So let's say you buy your 32 megabytes of RAM, but only has a timing of 331 or like 3331, something like that. That's not really great. What you really want is higher numbers. The higher the better, obviously. If you can get the timing to like 8812 or something like that, you've got some great RAM right there. So technically speaking, they are correct on this one, as much as I hate to say that. Myth number 3: cheat codes are put in for the sake of gamers. Their take: they aren't. And that's technically true, because cheat codes were put in for game testers to see, if you did everything at once, would it break? And from what I hear, game testing is probably the worst thing in the world to do. Because what you're doing is let's say you're in a dialogue menu, you're pushing every button at once to make sure nothing crashes. So yeah, the cheat codes were put in for game testing, and they're just kind of left in there in the final product. Wireless controllers don't work well as wired. Wrong. So this is another kind of hot take right here, and it really does depend, again, on the manufacturer of the controller. If you're getting one from Sony or from Microsoft for the Xbox, generally speaking, you're going to get a pretty standard product that works as expected. You're not going to get any input delay, and you especially won't have any connectivity issues. With a third-party controller, you're definitely going to run into that, once again, that hit or miss kind of thing, where maybe the connection isn't just as good, maybe there's a little input lag, maybe you lose the controller connection every couple of minutes. It does get pretty annoying, and it really just depends. Generally speaking, when it comes to wireless controller technology, stick with the manufacturer. And these days, wireless controllers, they are getting pretty good, and I would not advise getting a third-party wireless controller out of it. Nick Smith, you don't need 1080p. Their take, you don't. So this is what I hate about the gaming industry, is that when they say that you need or don't need something. When it comes to technology, needs are what you make it. Ironically, these fucking game journalists, the bloggers, whatever the fuck you want to call them, I'm going to call them bloggers. These fucking bloggers, they're the same ones that say that you need the high end of everything. Your PC needs to cost $2,000. So for them to fucking sit there and say like, oh no, you don't need 1080p, that's such a laughable joke. Because it is the same people who will sit here and tell you that you need the high end market thing. So what's the reality? Do you need 1080p? Do you want 1080p? That's the better question that you should be asking yourself. And these days, 1080p is kind of a standard anyways. So once again, the better question would be to ask, do you want 1480? Because it just depends on what you want to do with the computer. Do you want your computer to just be able to access the internet? Then you don't need 1080p. Do you want to just run fucking Minecraft and RuneScape? Once again, you don't need 1080p. Or excuse me, 1480. But do you want to play like Cyberpunk 2077 on ultra high graphics? Then yeah, you're gonna need the high-end graphics card. You don't need a 4,000 series or a 5,000 series. You just don't need those right now because nothing's going to utilize it just yet. It's going to be a couple years before anything really says, yes, you need the 5,000 series. And if they do, you're playing on a AAA game. And why are you playing a AAA game in the first place? They're unoptimized and they shouldn't need the high-end graphics card anyways. Nick Smith. 1080, I'm going to assume that's an I. 1080i looks better than 720p. Their take, only if you watch your games on pause. These are the same motherfuckers that are like, oh, you don't need 60 frames a second because your eye can't render 60 frames. Yeah, your eye's not a fucking camera. Your eye is a very, very complex bit of science that you have to go to a special school in order to be able to say, yes, I understand what the eye does and how it functions. And let me tell you, if you go to your doctor and say, is my eye like a camera lens? They're going to look at you like you've been doing drugs or you just come to their office drunk, because your eye is not a photo camera lens. It is not showing you frame by frame, line by line. It is taking in light all at once, and it is showing you a picture in color or not. So your eye isn't showing you frame by frame, line by line. It is showing you what your eye can see via light or not. So if you're in a dark room, you're not going to be able to see shit. Whereas if you're staring at the sun, well, let's face it, you're not going to be seeing shit for very long. This one's kind of an outdated myth. The Xbox 360 can't handle 1080p. Yes, it can. Moving on. Actually, I don't know why they're saying this one's a dangerous myth. What's dangerous about it? You're not going to blow yourself up because you bought yourself an HDMI cable that's like $50 with gold-plated technology or whatever. So that's kind of a stupid take. Plasma TVs look better than CRTs. Their take, a popular misconception. This is, again, a personal take. Do you like the looks of CRTs? Do you like the looks of plasma TVs? That is your personal take. Technically speaking, when you're going to retro games that are past or that are before Sega Dreamcast, you kind of want to get a CRT if you really want that authentic experience, because the games were designed with a CRT in mind. And you'll see that when you look at the raw pixels of like a character from like, let's say Chrono Trigger, and it just looks kind of jumbled and jarbled. and it doesn't really look that crisp. But then when you put it into like a CRT filter, it starts to come together. And that's because when the art directors were working on it, they understood what the CRT was doing and what the CRT, their capabilities were. So they understood that when they were putting these pixels in, that it would kind of mesh and blend together. So it would give you a more, I don't know, it gives a blended character or art design or something. Basically, it would look like you weren't looking at some pixels. It would look like it would be blended nice. And you just look at this fucking picture. It's fine. This one's kind of funny.
Forbidden.
Will settle the next-gen DVD war. So I'm going to read this take to you. The popular rumor claims that HD DVD will overtake Blu-ray because it ultimately allows manufacturers to create HD adult movies, while Blu-ray Disc Association frowns upon.
Forbidden.
As important as adult films were in trailblazing the home video cassette movement in the 70s and 80s, porn is hardly a kingmaker. In fact, if you judge by recent sales data showing Blu-ray soaring ahead of HD DVD, it looks like game consoles like PlayStation 3 will have a larger impact on the next-gen DVD war than mere... But now that's interesting because that was a very big myth back then, is that they did think that
Dancing is forbidden.
would decide if it was Blu-ray or HD DVD. The reality came to be is that Blu-ray became the standard because it's much more industry friendly, and a lot of the industry didn't want to work with both Blu-ray and HD DVD. Blu-ray was a lot more open to the usability of its disc, where HD DVD seemed to be a little more stubborn with it and a little more choosy. So productions liked Blu-ray a little better just because of its ease of use and ease of accessibility. So that's what ultimately decided the fate. So, good lesson for you. Don't be stubborn. Next myth, you need to buy the extended warranty. So, I don't know if any people know about early console launches, but they were guaranteed to be a flop. And they still technically are, which is hilarious. No console has ever launched issue-free. They've all had issues from the red ring of death, the red screen of death, all the way to the Nintendo Switch's scratches when you put it into the little thing. Ooh, it was bad. It was bad. So most console launches, when they start, probably a good idea to get the extended warranty because that holds them accountable. So really, the fact that they're saying this is so shocking because shouldn't they know about this? I mean, down the line, still with electronics, it's probably not the worst idea to get the extended warranty because you just don't know. First of all, the common myth of why you're pushing an extended warranty, how long is this product going to be, or how long is this product going to last until it breaks, that depends on company by company. If it's Dell, definitely get the warranty. Although, why are you buying from Dell? They practice product obsolescence anyways. So, and also build your own damn computer. It's like Legos. It's really easy. There's lots of videos on it. It's really easy to do. You don't have to buy pre-built computers. But otherwise, when it comes to most electronics, it's just sort of an extra safety thing because life happens. And if you've got the money to do it, I definitely personally recommend doing it. But it's your money. You do what you want. Do you need it? It's really a personal choice. But for these people to say that you don't need the extended warranty for consoles, it's kind of funny. Really, because they know. The VC is the only good place to play first-person shooters. Not true. So, personal bias aside, it depends. Controllers, it's really difficult to get that quick snap turn that you can with a mouse. Some people are better at it than others. I've seen console people wipe the floor on PC players. It's fucking scary, but they also use a little thing that it kind of double stacks your controllers and it makes the controller a little more responsive. But the reality is this is more of an opinion than anything. It kind of depends on what you're looking for. Do you like the feel of a controller when you're playing a first-person shooter? Go for it. Do you like the more responsive, accurate feeling of keyboard and mouse? Go for it. So there's really not a very good answer for this. This is an opinion piece. Myth, you have to spend $500 for a PC video card. Once again, ironic that these fucking bloggers are talking about cost of video card when they're the ones usually pushing to buy the big expensive one. Here's the thing. We're going to go over this again. You do not need to spend an obscene amount of money on a computer to get what you need. You can actually spend less than $1,000 and you can get a pretty good computer out of it. I know a guy, It's like a fucking wizard when he goes to build PCs because he sits there in his free time. I'm not joking. And he will build these computers. So I always hit him up, be like, hey, I'm looking for a computer. And he builds me a very sensible one. So if I tell him, hey, I'm looking for something, my budget's like $1,500, he'll build me the $1,500 computer. And it'll be just as good as whatever these fucking bloggers are recommending. So it's really, this one is, again, more of a matter of, I would say, budgetary constraints, to be honest. Do you have the money to spend on that $500 graphics card? Go for it. If you're going to use it, it's a waste of money if you're just going to use that to play Minecraft. But if you're looking to play like the higher end tier games of fucking Ultra, you probably want to chintz out a little more cash on that. But explore your options, check your budget. It's not unreasonable to say that you don't need to spend $1,000 to fucking play the latest Crisis game if it ever fucking comes out again. But this is 2007. Graphics cards, they weren't costing $500. They were like, I would say, actually, to be honest, I think they are right. The most expensive one probably was $500 back in the day. Myth, you should buy video cables at the store. Their take, heavens is no. This is another fucking opinion kind of piece, but where they're going with this isn't that bad. You can find much better deals online auction sites like eBay. For instance, we found a brand new 12-foot HDMI cable for our Office PS3 for just $10. A set of PS3 component cables went for $20. Why pay $50 at Radio Shack or GameStop? And they're not wrong, especially some HDMI cables out there will try to scam you for where you can get the same exact product for like $5. You're not looking for anything gold plated or copper plated or any fucking like gimmick. No HDMI cable is going to do something better than the other one does, other than probably lifetime span. Industry standard for how these things are built, pretty much the same across the board. An HDMI cable is an HDMI cable. If you're getting one for $5, I wouldn't expect that thing to last very long. If you're getting it for $10, that's probably about the standard. If you're getting it for $50, you're probably getting ripped off. And ironically, they only they stated that this was 14 myths. They only had 13 on there. I think the 14th myth must have been the quality of this fucking article, quite frankly, because there was a lot of hot takes in there. And generally speaking, just like meh advice that they're claiming is dangerous. If this was on the line, it would be clickbait. It basically would. But this is, I label this as fucking yellow journalism, quite frankly. But that's all there is for now. So I hope you enjoyed walking down memory lane with me. Once again, I am Maxim Davis with the one, the only Red Guy Show. And I will see you next time.